Not partner up with someone that you're married to for this experiment or that you wish you were married to. So move around if that's a problem for you. Partner up and say hello to the person sitting next to you. Oh, good. You're partnering up even if they're right next to you. I love this. Here's what I love you to do. The person sitting closest to this side of the stadium, you're on this side of the stadium, you're person number 1 in the pair. Furthest from that side, you're person number 2 in the pair. If you're front to back, the person closest to me is number 1. If neither of those apply, you can pick one person to be number 1. So raise your hand if you're person number 1 for this experiment. Raise your hand if you're person number 2. That's not the experiment. I have to do this now because I did this experiment on Wall Street a few months ago, and it literally took that bank 5 minutes to figure out who number 1 in the group was. Which explains what's going on there. So here's what's interesting. How many of you are psychology friends? You read a lot of psychology books? You have a psychology degree? You like to raise your hand? Okay. For my psychology friends, this is the emotional prime of the experiment. And for everyone else, this is nothing. Over the course of your life, you've taken your genetic predispositions, your genes, and you've built those genes up through your self-discipline and your self-control. You were able to pass the classes you needed to in school, to get into the jobs you wanted to apply yourself to your work and to your families and to your communities. What I'd love for you to do is use all that self-discipline and control that you were cultivating for decades. I'd like you to use it to control your behavior for just 7 seconds with your partner if you can. At 8 seconds, you can do whatever you like to or with your partner, but for 7 seconds, we need you to control yourself. So person number 1, what we ask you to do in this experiment, person number 1, what we ask you to do in this experiment is to not get angry with person number 2 when they do to you what I'm about to tell them to do to you.
I'm number 1. You can tell your boy. You can be number 1. Might be number 2.
Person number 1, don't get angry, don't get sad. Please, please don't cry like the group a couple weeks ago. That was so embarrassing. That was at the Pentagon. So here's what I need you to do. I basically need you to do nothing with your partner. So person number 1 and 2, please turn and face one another. Person number 1, make sure you're within striking distance of person I see some of you taking off your glasses. That's a great idea. And person number 1, just go neutral on the inside. Try to feel no emotions and try and think no thoughts. Then person number 1, control your face. From this point in the experiment, show 0 emotion on your face. No fear, no flinching, no frustration, 0 emotion. Once you're ready, person number 1, using your decades of self-discipline and control to control your thoughts, your emotions, your hands, and your face. Then person number 2, please look at them. Make sure you're looking at them directly in the eyes. And for the next 7 seconds, person number 2, please smile genuinely and warmly, but directly up into the eyes of person number 1 while looking at them as warmly and as deeply as possible. Ready to go.
You have to look at me.
And stop. I'm sorry. We're going to need to do that one more time. Person number 2, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you were the one with all the power and control in this relationship. So let's just switch it around. Now my few psychology friends know you never repeat a psychology experiment with deception in it, so let's just try it. Person number 2, go neutral on the inside, feel no emotion, think no thoughts, control your face. Person number 1, please look at them, make sure you're looking at them directly in the eyes, and for the next 7 seconds, it's your turn for retaliation. Please smile genuinely and warmly directly into their eyes while looking at them deeply. Ready to go.
I can't do it. I started off smiling.
And stop. My favorite part about this experiment by far is as soon as I say stop, everyone in the stadium relaxed as if that was a difficult task to do. Some of you were like, I did it. You did nothing. For 7 seconds. Failure in this experiment. Failure meant you smiled when I asked you not to. Success meant that you did not smile for the full 7 seconds. Raise your hand if you failed miserably in this experiment by smiling when you were not supposed to be smiling here. That's incredible. I meant to take a picture of what was going on during that because it's too hard for us to count. 30,000 people or whatever is in the same. Raise your hand if you successfully did what I asked you to for the full 7 seconds. I don't have time to count all the liars, but I've done this experiment in 51 countries. 80-85% of people worldwide cannot control themselves for the 7 seconds of this experiment. I know that you're global, so we have people from all over the world that are here tonight. And what we found, I've done this with senior level bankers, all men, all in their mid-50s, in Tokyo, Japan. Smile percentage is still in the mid-70s. Extraordinarily universal. What's amazing about this is, I have to tell you one other one I just find fascinating. I've done this in 51 countries. One of them I made a mistake, but you're going to figure out the mistake before I made it. But 2 years ago, I was invited by a Middle Eastern country to give a talk there to 300 women in the Middle East about how to raise up levels of positive leadership. And I was so excited about this opportunity, I wasn't thinking, and I started my talk with this experiment, and halfway through realized that 90% of the room was veiled for the smiling experiment. Which had I thought of before, I would not have made that cultural mistake, but I'm so grateful I did, because the women in the room taught me something. They told me that the experiment still worked, actually. The experiment still worked. They told me they could see the smiles in the other woman's eyes. Yeah. And behind the veil, the smile was equally contagious. Mm-hmm. Which what I love about this is I'm talking about the science side here tonight, but if you're listening for it, there's something so much deeper going on here. Something so much more human that the science can only scratch at currently. But from the science side, you put me into an fMRI brain scan my brain while I'm smiling, small portions of my brain will show activation saying, Shawn, you're smiling, which we knew it happened, I'm smiling. But if I stop smiling, and you keep scanning me, and you flash an image of one of you smiling in front of me, small little parts of my brain called mirror neurons will start to activate. And when those mirror neurons activate, they say, Shawn, you're smiling. But I'm not smiling, you're smiling. But before I can stop myself, my brain drops a neurochemical many of you know called dopamine into my system, raising my levels of happiness and enjoyment and causing my face to contort into a smile before I can stop myself. You might have seen these happen here tonight if you were looking at your partner while you're smiling at them and their lips were quivering while they were trying not to smile. That's weird, that shouldn't be happening. What's happening there is your mirror systems are fighting against the motor systems. Your brain already thinks it's smiling. It's like, what's the problem here, face? Now, if you've ever had to speak to a stadium before and one person yawns and then other people start to yawn, that's not because you're boring. That can't possibly be it. I keep telling myself what's happening there is as I see people in my visual field start to yawn, my mirror neurons can tell me I'm the one that's yawning. And I can pick up the fatigue response of someone sitting all the way across the room. Where this gets fascinating is if you have 15 strangers waiting for a plane, they don't even know they're part of an experiment, they're just waiting at their gate for their plane. You introduce an undercover researcher, stand in the middle of the 15 people in a 5-meter radius, and the undercover researcher just begins to bounce nervously in place. Tap his foot impatiently on the ground and look at his watch with a frown on his face. Within 2 minutes of waiting for that plane or train, depending on the study worldwide, on average 7 to 12 of the 15 individuals will unconsciously start bouncing nervously in place, and we're tapping their foot on the ground, and we're looking at their watch more than 4 times in a 2-minute span of time. If you don't believe me, this is one of the experiments you can try out yourself the next time you get on a plane. If you want to spread stress and negativity to the people on your plane. Which is why I always do this one at a different gate. But the reason I love this experiment is it shows us not only do smiles and yawns spread, but it turns out that negativity, stress, uncertainty, and anxiety we can pick up like secondhand smoke. You don't even have to be one smoking to have the negative health implications. The same thing is true with how other people's brains outside of the stadium process your world. Now, as soon as I tell people that, outside of this space, they might get the wrong idea. They might think that here are the people I have to cut out of my life. Not hanging out with that guy anymore. I'm defriending her on Facebook. I don't need to see these posts. When I get home from this conference here together, I'm not even going to look at this person, which is awkward because I'm married to them. If that was somebody's response, what they're doing is they're eliminating social connection. And you get it. If somebody's currently negative, they're expressing suffering. You isolate them, you exacerbate it, and you made a cancerous system. What it does is it strips us of our real power as human beings. because we were studying you wrong. As I look at you now, there's no wires connecting any of your brains, no organic material. So we study you as individuals. Here's your intelligence, here's your creativity, here's your happiness, here's your grades you receive. All that's true, but it misses out on the most important thing. It misses out on how beautiful the human organism actually is. We're not wired together. That'd be a very clunky system for a species. Our brains are designed to be wirelessly connected through a mirror neuron network. Our brains are designed to be wirelessly connected. That's the biological underpinnings of empathy and sympathy. And what it means is we don't process the world. We co-process the world. Meaning is co-processed. Happiness is co-processed, which means if you try to create selfish forms of happiness, it keeps slipping through your fingers. But as soon as we realize that if we can make others better, suddenly we can sustain that happiness and be able to put it out to other people. And if you put single positive habits in people's lives, you change the system.